How to find real estate agents producing 8+ buyer sites. This is a very common question we get a lot from clients. And so I wanted to make a video on how exactly to find these real estate agents that are producing their full-time, the type of real estate agents that can actually send you referrals. And so I'm going to run through a couple options that are going to be the most common ones. Some of these, actually all of these, we've actually used here at Maverick Media Lab. And so I'm going to give you the rundown on each one of them and what my own personal review is of each one. And so first up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and show you from the one that we prefer here, and the one that we often use here at Maverick Media Lab is MMI, Mobility Marketing Intelligence. And this is one that you might or might not have heard of just yet. And it's basically a database that allows you to pull the realtor production of anyone, really any realtor that has a license. You can see exactly how much they've been producing. A hugely effective tool when going and specifically finding real estate agents that you want to partner with, specifically buy sides. You can actually filter for that exact amount, right? So you can go through and see a demo of their stuff here. I believe there's different pricing points depending on if you're part of a certain organization and whether you probably have some sort of like pricing as a brokerage. So I think there's different ones that you can generally see. This is definitely one of those more higher priced ones, but in terms of quality, it's definitely the highest because it's going to allow you to see exactly how much a realtor is producing. So if you're looking for, someone who's doing 6+ buyer sides, 8+ buyer sides, 10+ buyer sides, you'll be able to see exactly what that looks like in the span of 7 months, in the span of 14 months. So quite practically a little bit over a year. It's relatively reliable. We've seen that there is a couple, there's a bit of a lagging point. If you look at Zillow, for example, versus MMI, there are a couple discrepancies. There are a couple things that show up on MMI that's a little bit different from MMI. Show up on Zillow that doesn't show up on MMI, and vice versa. So there's a bit of kind of discrepancy there, but other than that, it's very, very good for quality. The the data is relatively accurate, which means that you're going to be able to see exactly how much they produce, which is a huge advantage, so that any outreach you're doing, any cold calling you're doing, any emails that you're sending out to real estate agents are that much more effective because you know exactly how much they're producing, exactly the type of real estate agent that you're talking with. And more so than that, they actually also will allow you to see which lenders they're working with and who they've worked with in previous transactions. So that's going to be very, very helpful for some of you that maybe don't want to reach out to real estate agents that might be in the same company, that might be working with a loan officer at the same company. So all of this is something to keep in mind when using MMI. Like I said, the accuracy is relatively pretty high. The quality is very high. You're able to pull their contact information and all of that stuff. It definitely is a little bit more on the costlier side of things in terms of relative to the other options. But in terms of accuracy and quality, it's definitely up there. And I would highly, highly recommend. We actually use it for our clients, and it does supremely well. It does its job. The next one here that we're going to see is MTA Go. MTA Go is actually an application. You can sign up here for a demo with their team, but basically what it allows you to do is on their app, you're going to be able to actually pick a certain area, a certain zip code, and you're going to be able to download all of the agents that are producing all the realtors that are in that area that are producing a certain amount of production. And again, this is really important when it comes to really dialing in and finding only the agents that you want to work with. So MTA Go, I believe the benefit to them is you're going to be able to pick it by zip code, which if you use it only for, maybe 1 or 2 times and only for certain zip codes, it actually comes out to less than MMI. But if you plan on using it statewide, if you plan on using it for various different zip codes in different areas, I would definitely consider possibly using MTA Go or MMI, just because if you're using it for statewide, it might be a benefit to just have access to the whole entire database of those realtors in that area that you can get. The benefit to this is that you can actually get quick access to their production, whereas MMI, you can't. There's no real way to scrape or real way to export a list of realtors by production. It is something you have to do manually to get that list of the realtors. So MTA Go is one that has been used by our clients before, and that I would recommend. It's something that we've seen work for our clients. Now, in terms of other options that you can use, there's 2 others that you can use. And this actually involves using a combination of Zillow and a virtual assistant. You can very easily find a virtual assistant that can scrape data for you. Scraping is actually a term that's used is actually a term that's used to mean similar to they actually will find certain criteria, and then they'll actually export a list for you. So Zillow actually has access to Agent Finder. So Agent Finder is a subsection of the Zillow website where it actually will show you realtors that are in your area, and you'll actually be able to see how much they're doing in production. And so look at, for example, let's say Houston, right? This might be an area where we might be looking, and we'll be able to see, and this is all public data, by the way. You can see specifically how much they are doing in sales for the last 12 months. It's very, you can pretty much bet that, who's at the top are probably the ones that are doing like really well in the type of realtors that you want to partner with. And so what you'll be able to do is use this public data here and use a scraping tool. Someone from Fiverr here. There's not one that I specifically recommend, just because we personally use, our clients personally just use MMI, but this is a more, it isn't as costly. It's relatively very low. You can see like 10, 20 bucks. And it'll let you scrape data in a certain area. So you just tell them, hey, I'm looking for realtors in Houston that have a minimum of 5-star reviews and have X amount of sales. The good thing is that it actually will show the amount of sales that have been done in the last 12 months. So if you see here on 143 sales, this is, obviously a team. And then they'll be able to scrape the data for you doing that. Now, the free version of this would be not using a virtual assistant, and just going on Zillow yourself to go in there and look through each one of these real estate agents and then pulling their data. And then just putting it on a Google spreadsheet. So you can, like I said, see their exact production. And by production, actually, I mean like the homes that were sold in the last 12 months. And so this might not be as accurate because it does show like the listings. And oftentimes if you're looking for the buyer sides, it might not be a direct way to see that on Zillow. But you can pretty much bet, someone who has a lot of experience, has sold a lot of homes, is probably going to be someone who has a very high chance of being a very good referral partner for you. So those are the 4 options that come with finding realtors that are doing A+ buyer sites. This one you'll get relatively close if you stick to the first 2 pages. You're gonna get realtors that are doing A+ buyer sites for sure. And with a virtual assistant, it's going to speed up the process. The Third option would be to use MTA Go, which again, if you're just looking to do it for like a certain zip code and you're looking to see the agent's transactions in that zip code, this is going to be really good if it's just kind of one off. If you're looking to do it for multiple areas in your state, that easily might stack up. And the preferred and what I actually recommend is, it's something like I said, or our clients use, and we've seen the insides of MMI and how it all functions in terms of the highest accuracy relative to the rest of the options here. MMI is definitely the one that we recommend, just because it has the accuracy and it allows you to see the entire state and be able to pull the data that you need. It is manual because there is no way to import, a huge lump sum of data contacts, of realtor contacts all at one time. That is kind of the downside, but the accuracy and the production levels and being able to see which other loan officers they're working with is a huge asset, especially when you're booking realtor meetings very consistently. Oftentimes for our clients, they will once we book a realtor meeting for them, they'll go in there and check the production on their MMI account to see what kind of realtor they're doing, do a little bit of research on that realtor so that they're prepared for the meeting. So I highly recommend it if you're, doing the cold calling, you're doing the outreach to the realtors, you're visiting the open houses, you're doing lunch and learns and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be really helpful to see what kind of agents you're dealing with, what kind of agents are in the area, so you can make your outreach very targeted and be able to meet with the right type of agents that can actually send referrals. And if this is something that you're actually looking for help with, that's actually something my company, Maverick Media Lab, actually does for you. We book realtor meetings and reach out to realtors on your behalf and book meetings with realtors that are producing full-time realtors that are actually open to a conversation with you about a referral partnership. If you're interested in that, I will leave a link down below. But I hope that you found this video helpful and insightful and gave you a bit of an overview of what your options are in terms of, looking up the realtors that will help you grow your referral-based business.